Hello, I'm Simulator Deck and welcome back to City Transport Simulator. We've done some renaming of our lines, especially the two that we've already driven on, the T1 and the T2. They are pretty close to being in the correct order for the Hunter and Upper Newcastle Central Coast lines. Today we're going to drive on the T3 and we're actually in the depot. And this actually looks like a depot. I can't rename the depot, but here we are on the T3, so let's get into it. Now I don't have enough operation points so far to drive my first bus, it seems. But yeah, this is an actual depot. This does actually look like a depot compared to what we saw in the previous episode. It's nearly 6 AM, so we'll head to Wyong, which is the end of the what I've called the T3 line. I haven't necessarily changed all the stations on this line. So some of the names that I've been referring to in the previous couple of episodes no longer exist. So we'll do it while in about 5 minutes. We do now. train will disappear. This tram will disappear soon. There was no point in releasing the doors until the other one disappears. What we did last time, and oh, that's right, that's what I did last time. I released the doors. So is this a bug that happens, I wonder, if you leave the depot and this tram needs to depart first. So I wonder if this is just a thing when you leave the depot. This is the second time that I've left the depot and I've had somebody waiting forever to depart. Well, I can't continue driving because old mate's right in front of me and he's not moving. What we might have to do is not use any depot scenarios or using this depot to leave from. So we'll try that again. Work from the T3, departing from Wyong towards Gosford. Okay, lunchtime. And ready to start. So this clearly indicates to me, and there's been a bit of confusion, I think, because there's a couple of different versions available. You can get bus only, tram only, or both. And then there's the standard edition, and then there's the deluxe edition. I did go into sandbox mode and confirm that I do have buses in there. Alright, so we're here at Gosford. We're not due out for another 45 seconds from Wyong to Gosford. Some of the stations don't fit, but I think I'm going to change that. Although then again, there could be stations on the other lines. That's 12 o'clock. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
The next station is Awaba. Change here for T1.
Oh, it's on the T1, so I might be able to change that. So the T1's the original line that I've created. T1 and T2 are based on Hunter Line stations and the Newcastle end of the Newcastle Central Coast Line. The signal for it, so maybe it's one of these ones where it there's a red phase for cars and a green phase for trams, just depending on which way they're going. So the T1 and the T2 lines are now, by the way, red. Oh, I got another achievement. And I've leveled up to level 16. Alright, this could be another red phase for cars, green phase for me. Yeah, there we go. Oh, green phase for both.
The next station is Burigal. Change here for T1.
me yet. Signal for me. Car can also go.
The next station is Duralba. Change here for T1.
Alright, we're going to the left. T3 in a while.
The next station is Cockle Creek. Change here for T1.
Alright, Cockle Creek next up, followed by Newcastle Interchange, Broadmeadow and Adamstown. So as far as possible, I think I'll do the name of railway stations for trams and other suburbs for buses, although I can't tell which ones are going to be for buses yet. For only buses. This is AT1 with the new terminus of Morisset. We're actually 20 seconds early. Alright, no signal. There we go.
The next station is Newcastle Interchange. Change here for T1 and T4.
So I wonder, when I finally get round to working buses, will that say for T1, T4 and for say B1, B3? No, okay. Oh, there's a train. Looks like an ICE train. Alright, going straight when I get the signal. There we go. Perfect stop. Door 1 and door 4 we're waiting for.
The next station is Broadmeadow. Change here for T1 and T4.
Adamstown next, followed by Civic, University.
The next station is Adamstown. Change here for T1 and T4.
fractionally late. I don't have to wait for time. Okay, which way are we going here? We're going to the right. And I get the signal.
The next station is Civic. Change here for T2 and T4.
First, coming up the university.
The next station is University of Newcastle. Change here for T2 and T4.
These are now at one end of the TC. One more. Come on, door 4.
The next station is Sandgate. Change here for T2 and T4.
Tuggerer than Gosford.
The next station is Tuggerah.
I tried so many ways to get the person to pronounce Tuggerah correctly. Sound of that audio at all.
The next station is Gosford. Last stop. Please take your belongings with you.
Alright, we have arrived. Yes, we'll skip the pause time. Alright, so we are on our way back to Wyong.
The next station is Tagara.
So there's our tram heading back to Wyong. So much of tram driving is just line of sight. There's that weird audio noise again. It must be something to do with Tagara, which in the real world doesn't surprise me either.
The next station is Sandgate. Change here for T2 and T4. The next station is University of Newcastle. Change here for T2 and T4.
That might do a red phase for the trams and green for the applicable ones there. I've had this combo going, this XP combo going for ages now. So next up, Civic, followed by Adamstown, Broadmeadow.
The next station is Civic. Change here for T2 and T4. The next station is Adamstown. Change here for T1 and T4.
Get ready. Come on, door 4.
The next station is Broadmeadow. Change here for T1 and T4.
Oh look, on the side that says Tram, and then it says T1 Morissette, T3 Wyong, which is me, and T4 Matford, which is the T4 which we haven't driven yet.
The next station is Newcastle Interchange. Change here for T1 and T4. station is Cockle Creek. Change here for T1.
Cockle Creek, Tram, Warragul, and Awaba. Next. Just because you have green doesn't mean the green's for me. Perfect start.
The next station is Duralba. Change here for T1.
Taralba, Warragul, Awaba, and Wyong. Tram.
The next station is Warragul. Change here for T1.
Just missed the lights. Then wire.
The next station is Awaba. Change here for T1.
Just need to see that bottom light. That's all I need. The next station is Wayan. Last stop. Please take your belongings with you. Right, around to the right. Alright, so we're just going to basically get around the corner. There's another Pizzeria Italia. Surprisingly few pedestrians have actually done that in this version. Route completed. Yes. T3 Tram to Gosford. There we go, and ready for the next run. Alrighty, let's leave that screen. Let's return to the main menu. Yes, I do want to return to the main menu. So we travelled almost 12 kilometres in that session. Sydney's, I can't even talk, it's been a long day. I've basically been recording these episodes all day. 60 signals respected, stopped at 25 stations, ignored no traffic lights, an hour 28 of session time, one route completed, 48 passengers, 4 perfect stops, and 13,000 XP. So what we will do now, we will manage my operation just to there are lots of emails that you can read. Alright, so we'll go back to that. Now, I think it's a T1? No, T2 that's got the T2 that's got Aberdeen, correct. So what I want to do to get my next achievement, I want to go back, start a session, select the vehicle, T2, start at Scone, heading towards Tamara, 602, ready to go. Because what I want to do, I want to see, if before we finish this episode, I want to see if I can get a bus. So we have seen this station before. It was known as something different, it's now known as Scone. All we have to do is get to our first stop. At Aberdeen. I'm not going to drive the whole thing now, but I want to see if I can get a bus. I'm at nearly 60,000 XP, level 17. Five, four, three, two, one. Lock the doors. All the doors are closed. Going around to the right, to the left, sorry. There we go.
station is Aberdeen.
So all we need to do is to get Aberdeen. We're going straight. Sometimes it will give you certain challenges. Route challenge completed. Alright, so what we're going to do, we're going to end it there. End that bit there. We're going to claim that transport 20 passengers to their respective destinations is our next challenge. What we're going to do, we're going to return to the main menu. Yes, I do. I want to return to the main menu. Manage my operation. Okay, so at the moment, just to explain some of this, we have 2.4, these are all ratings, 2.4 out of 5 for network coverage, 2.3 out of 5 for transport passengers, and 2.3 out of 5 for lines. Now, our lines, T1, passengers, this is passenger satisfaction, 2.1 out of 5, T3, 2.5 out of 5, T2 1.5 out of 5, T4 3 out of 5, and B1, which is my first bus route, not running yet, is at 0. All at 15-minute intervals. We've got all possible vehicles allocated, with the exception of the bus, which we haven't done yet. We've got 12 stops on the T1, 24 on the T2, 13 on the T3, 12 on the T4, and 26 on the B1. But we haven't got any vehicles allocated to B1 yet, because we don't have, apparently, so this shows us our passenger volumes. Manage lines, B1. You do not have enough, you have enough operating points to convert this draft line to an active line. Do you wish to use your operating points to convert this line? Yes, I do. Right, some of these names I'm going to have to rename, but that's a job for later me. So what we need to do now is to get some buses. We've only got one bus that we can get at the moment, the Lion City. 3. Well, we've got 3 buses, which is better than none. We've got 2 buses, which is better than none. So on the next episode, I am hoping to be able to see some buses on the route, because that is now officially operating. So hang on. So if I go back to start session, let's see if I can pick a bus now. Yes, I can now pick a bus. But we're not going to do that on this episode or on this series. The buses that I'll be driving will be on a separate series on a separate day. But from now on the tram side, I'm hoping we will start to see AI buses. I've been Simulated Aki, you've been wonderful. Thanks for watching. Ta-ta and farewell. Bye-bye for now.